Welcome back. His job has been a tough one in recent months. Nafid Abu Sha'ban is head of the burns unit at Shifa Hospital. During the war, Dr. Abu Sha'ban spoke to Al Jazeera about the horrors he witnessed daily. Many of his patients died from injuries that may not have been fatal under normal circumstances. But the Gaza Strip is anything but normal. 4 months on, we spent a day with Dr. Abu Sha'ban.
My name is Dr. Nafid Abu Sha'ban. I'm a consultant and the head of a plastic surgery and the burn unit here at Shifa Hospital. I've been working in this unit for more than 15 years. This burn unit is the only one in the Gaza Strip. We receive patients from Rafah to Beit Hanoun, and we provide help to about 1.5 million people. We're busy all year long. We want to expand our unit, but we are unable to. In Gaza, there are no construction materials. Closure is the main obstacle. One of my patients who I'm treating today is a child who suffers from an eye problem. He's been treated many times in Egypt. When he reaches the final stages of his treatment, this time he will be unable to leave Gaza because of the siege. So we are forced to do the surgery here with our limited capabilities. After the war on Gaza, there is quite a big number of people who are scared of drinking water and eating vegetables and fruits growing here in areas that were subjected to intense bombing by the Israeli army. They believe it's polluted. We've asked the WHO to send experts with their equipments to examine the water to prove or deny their suspicions, so we can feel safe. These cupboards were empty during the war. We suffered from severe shortages of medicine. During that time, Israel allowed some medicine, including spare parts for equipment, to get in. We've been waiting to get more since the war ended, but we haven't received anything. I'm expecting we will run out within a couple of weeks. If another war erupts and we don't have enough supplies, patients will be affected. And we, I'm sorry to say, won't be able to help most of them. During the war, all the glass of the windows in the unit were broken as a result of the explosions. This is the patient's room. As you can see, there is no glass in the windows. It's covered in nylon. In summertime, it's very hot, and it won't protect patients who are burned. The biggest crime in humanity is that all people are just watching us since 2 years, and nobody put pressure on the Israeli occupation and the Israeli government to end the siege. They are all taking part in this crime. 1.5 million people live in prison. Actually, the real jail is much better. At least the prisoners in the jail get medical treatment and medicine.
Well, with us now to shed more light on the current medical situation in Gaza is the director of the Shifa Hospital, Dr. Hassan Khalaf. Dr. Khalaf, thank you for joining us. Welcome to the show. We saw the burns unit there. Earlier, we saw the desperation that many other people have in trying to get out of Gaza for treatment. Is there nothing that the medical establishment in Gaza can really do for patients, particularly those who are chronically ill? Do they have to leave the Strip to get treatment?
Thank you for calling me. The question of referring patient to outside Gaza, it is started about 10 years ago because our limits of providing service is limited, because our capacity is limited, because Gaza is a small place with limited facilities. So we have to send hundreds of patients each month. I know about 1,300 patients are waiting to go outside Gaza for treatment, but because of the blockade, they are denied access and their suffering is increasing.
Is this also for illnesses and diseases that are not potentially fatal?
Majority of them lies in this category, especially cancer patients and patients for cardiac surgeries and patients who need more sophisticated investigation that cannot be done here because of limited facilities and because of the bad effects of the siege on the whole health system.
You mentioned the siege. What about the recent war? How much worse did the war make the situation?
Well, everybody knows that the prolonged siege, or it lasted for 21 months before the war, badly affected the health services, which was exhausted completely, because there were a lack of medicines, lack of equipment, lack of spare parts, and many parts of the system were about to collapse. On top of that, this very aggressive war comes to exhaust us. Just to throw some light, at certain days, the consumption of the hospital was equaling the consumption of 1 month of certain issues. But luckily, we could manage, we concentrate what the limited resources we have to the needed areas, and luckily we succeed. But we cannot promise that because of the continuing exhaustion and consumption of our facilities and capabilities.
We've seen after the war billions of dollars pledged to the people of Gaza to rebuild this strip. How much of that is being used for the health sector? Is there any evidence that this is being put into good use?
No, unfortunately not, and we knew where they sit in Sharm el-Sheikh. They put political conditions for this money to rebuild Gaza, and up till now the situation is going worse and worse, because nothing of this money came in, and no facilities, no construction needs allowed to come in, and no experts allowed to come in, and the siege is continuing on Gaza.
Let's just be absolutely clear about this. Out of the $5 billion pledged to the Palestinian people for rebuilding Gaza since the war, not a single cent has come in to help the medical sector.
Of course, yes, except some of the donations which come through the people who brought some medicine and some equipment. Well, although we thank them very much, but these things is absolutely not enough to replenish our exhausted needs, and to repair our exhausted equipment and the machine, and to repair our hospitals, and even the small things which make our life very difficult.
Dr. Hassan Khalaf, thanks for that overview of the medical situation in the Gaza Strip. The Pope's trip to the Holy Land will be bittersweet for Gaza's tiny Catholic community. The estimated 2,500 members of the Christian faith who live among the nearly 1.5 million Palestinian Muslims are disappointed he is not visiting their impoverished coastal strip. Casey Kaufman met the Anton family, who told us what it really means to be Catholic in Gaza.
Aisa, Nada, and their toddler Anton are at Grandma's house for lunch. This is one of Gaza's Christian households, and it's a lively one.
Even if there is one Christian to 1,000 Muslims, we are present in Gaza. Nobody can deny it.
Like most families, they are primarily concerned with routine life.
Thank you very much.
But the upcoming papal visit reminds them that life in Gaza has become difficult.
Before, there was no problem. If I wanted to go to the West Bank, I could make the trip door to door without ever being stopped.
The majority of Gaza's Catholics want to travel to see the Pope in Bethlehem next week. But Israel locked down Gaza 2 years ago, and few believe they will be allowed to leave. Christians have been in the Gaza Strip since Jesus Christ traveled here as his family fled to Egypt, escaping persecution. The Christian neighborhood is right in the middle of Gaza City, but Aisa and his family live in the Tala Hawa neighborhood. They are the only Catholic family in their apartment block and have suffered the violence of Gaza just like their Muslim neighbors.
This happened during the internal fighting between Fatah and Hamas. We escaped to Isa's parents' house, and when we came back, we found the house like this. There's a lot of destruction and damage.
There are some issues that are particular to the Christian community.
Sometimes people don't understand. They think we worship the cross, but the cross is just a symbol for Christ. So I'd rather not get into that discussion. That's why when I walk in the street, I put it inside.
لا حماس ما حكتش ولا شيء ولا بتتدخل في هالاشياء.
هو الناس يعني عامة تتخوف من الشيء هذا. بس يعني احنا بالنسبة لنا مسيحيين
عارفين انه احنا مسيحية وعارفين كل شيء يعني.
حتى لو مثلا بده يحكي يعني بتلاقي يعني مش مثلا الحكومة اللي بتحكي او حدا يعني زي ما قلت لك يعني من الشارع كل احد مثلا او كل جمعة بتكون اجازة الاولاد، يعني مش كل الاولاد المسيحية في غزة بيعطلوا يوم الاحد الا في المدارس الخاصة والمسيحية الاطفال بيعطلوا يوم الاحد، بتصير مثلا اجتماعات يوم الجمعة زي هيك.
Aissa and Nada know that day-to-day life could be easier for them if they lived somewhere else. So many Christians have left, your family members have left. Why are you still here?
After the war, I really thought about leaving Gaza. Lots of Christians left and I was scared. But then Isa and I talked about it and we decided that this is our land. We were born here. We will never leave. No matter where we go, we will always end up back here.
Nada and Aissa are determined to stay in Gaza despite the challenges, even the most basic ones.
Before, we knew when we would have light and when we would not. Now we never know when the electricity cuts off.
Aissa says that the problems of his land are political, not religious. But I wonder if he has equal job opportunities. Could he work for the Hamas government as a Christian now?
وممكن اشتغل انا ما خصش ان كوني مسيحي او لا يعني، بس انا صعب يعني ان انا بشتغل مع حكومه وباخذ راتب من الحكومه، صعب انه اروح اشتغل مع حكومه ثانيه يعني.
You don't believe what he's saying?
لا مصدق بس ما بحبش نحكي هيك اشياء.
يعني بداش تحكي في السياسه.
There are 205 Catholics in Gaza, but Pope Benedict XVI won't be coming here to see them. It's a disappointment, but just a small one. Aissa and Nada have more important concerns that need addressing.
My prayer for Gaza is one of peace and unity. I hope the economy improves, because unemployment is high, because of the closure, and I hope that they open the doors so we can work again. God is able to do everything. He can open doors and close others.
Of course, we'd like to hear your views on the issues and on the program itself. You can email us on focusongaza@aljazeera.net. Thank you for watching.